Trying to eat a whole food plant-based diet in social settings is by far the biggest challenge I see people struggling with when trying to maintain this lifestyle, especially around the holidays. In this video, we're going to tackle this issue at its core by focusing not only on the logistics of eating plant-based in social settings and social gatherings, but also the mental fortitude that so many people forget about or kind of take for granted when it comes to this particular ordeal. So let's dive in. First and foremost, we are going to start by cultivating an optimistic perspective. To do this, we're going to revisit our why. I know you hear this in so many of my videos and probably in many other videos in forms of social media, but that should solidify the importance and the emphasis that we should place on knowing what our why is and revisiting it from time to time to make sure that we are updating it if it needs to be changed. We go through a lot of different things along our journey, and sometimes what was important to us in the beginning might not be so important to us now. But it also helps to just reignite that fire and that passion for why you wanted to do this in the first place. It's not easy to go to some sort of social gathering and have all of this delectable food in front of you and completely forget why you're saying no to what your body is clearly saying yes to. I find it very helpful to write this down on a card somewhere and carry it around with you during these social events. Look at it from time to time and remind yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I going against my instincts? Why is everybody else seemingly okay and enjoying eating these foods and I am over here suffering and reminding myself why I am torturing myself? If that is your circumstance, my heart goes out to you because it's been a really long time since I've had to deal with that. I have no temptation for those types of foods anymore, so going to social events is very easy for me. So trying to recollect the difficulty involved in this manner, it truly is insurmountable for the majority of the population. So again, I hold nothing but the utmost compassion for what you're dealing with. But you can overcome it if it is in fact important to you. That is why you have to have your why and carry it around with you, as silly as that sounds. Then I want you to imagine your life 5-10 years down the road if you don't stick to this healthy plan, if you do give in to these temptations, and then at the next party and the next party, and what's not to break down that threshold completely and go back to the old way that you were eating. We are walking a very, very fine tightrope when we are trying to eat this particular way in this particular society, because we will always be tested. It is very unusual. It is not a problem we have been designed to be able to solve. We are not supposed to be surrounded by all these high calorie, high palatable foods 24/7. It is a lot for our nervous system to handle day in and day out. So I don't want you to think of a slip up as just one little slip up. I want you to think of it as a potential cascade that could lead you right back where you started, and we don't want that. I don't mean to be dramatic, but it truly is that delicate of a situation. There is this amazing quote in Joel Fuhrman's Fast Food Genocide that I actually put on my computer so I can look at from time to time. I find it that helpful. It reads, "It's not enough to change your diet. You must change how you think, feel, and behave in terms of health, and how you feel about yourself." These are all the necessary components that fit into the mindset that is so necessary for carrying out this lifestyle. Surrounding yourself with this positive messaging is going to be truly beneficial in maintaining this lifestyle. And that is why surrounding yourself with the most up-to-date nutrition findings and research and podcasts, books, YouTube videos, all of these things are going to help you maintain this lifestyle, because it's not just watching your friends and family eat the standard American diet. You're watching other people eat these healthful, whole food, plant-based meals and watching them prepare it and carry it out in their life and deal with the trials and tribulations of what it is to live the opposite of the majority of the rest of the people that we're surrounded by. We are social creatures, and we innately want to feel that we belong to a tribe. And in doing so, we tend to carry out the same behaviors and patterns as we see in that tribe. So when we are going against the grain and eating a completely different form of diet than the majority of individuals that we live, work, and interact around, it becomes very challenging to have this constant cognitive dissonance. So I've actually created this awesome go-to resource for this problem. Whenever you have to go to a party or a social gathering or a holiday get-together, I've created 26 tactful yet assertive responses, an actual script that you can use to say to people when they offer you these unhealthy foods. There are also a number of different strategies to help you navigate these scenarios with grace, because they can get a little sticky. And I find that this is where most people kind of get tripped up. They don't have something planned ahead of time that they're going to respond to people when they are offered these foods, so they inevitably just take it out of peer pressure. It's not exactly peer pressure because nobody's forcing it on you, hopefully, but it is a form of pressure that you feel internally based on that need to belong to the tribe. So I'll put a link to that resource below. It's called the Food Pusher Response Guide, because so many of us know exactly what it's like to deal with food pushers on an ongoing basis. It's unfortunate, but it's just the reality. The next thing we want to do is make healthy living our priority. This is never going to work if you don't build a system around your healthful habits. So first, you want to build a sustainable system at home that can be easily adjusted for dining outside the home. So once you get that autopilot going at home with the shopping, the prepping, the cooking, the skills around recipe adaptation and building and making things adjusted to your palate, yet keeping them incredibly convenient, so you never feel like you're expending more effort than what you're getting out of it. So this involves always stocking your kitchen with plant-based staples that can easily turn into delicious meals. Keep your meals simple and unprocessed. Food should be nourishing, not something that lifts you up or makes you feel rewarded in some way. It should simply provide nutrients for your cells. Yes, we can absolutely enjoy our food, and yes, it definitely brings us pleasure, but we should not rely on it as our medication when we're feeling down or stressed or anxious or happy, all the emotions. So once you've got this pattern down in the home, you'll be able to continue carrying this out a lot more easily in social settings. It's very difficult to try to maintain this in any manner if you don't have a solid foundational system in the safety of your own home. Your home should be your fortress. That's where you build these foundational habits. And then you move out into more and more situations that you're less able to control the outcomes of what you'll be able to eat, when you'll be able to eat, how much you'll be able to eat. So you'll at least have a plan for how you usually do things. And it's very simple to continue to carry those out in social settings. And that's my next point. You want to master the art of planning. As soon as you are able to maintain that consistency around meal planning, shopping, prep, then you'll always have some meals ready for you in the home. So I personally eat a giant meal before I go to any social event because I am not relying on their food. Yes, I do have celiac disease, so it's very difficult for me to rely on others to feed me in the first place. I'm very used to taking my own meals to people's houses, to restaurants, to any kind of social event. But I feel it's a helpful tactic for anybody to use. Just look at these foods as disease-causing, and you will feel that sense of urgency and obligation to bring your own food, eat before you go, and stay away from these harmful items. So like I mentioned, you can even bring one of these pre-prepared meals in a cooler to the event that you're going to. And don't make this a big deal. Don't get weird about it. Don't get anxious. Just be confident and be proud that you're taking such good care of yourself. Who cares what others think? Who cares what little bits of nitpicking people are going to do about what it is that you're eating, or the fact that you even brought your own food instead of opting for the delectable treats that are nearby. It's also helpful to call the host or hostess, the chef, the manager ahead of time and find out what kind of accommodations can be made for you. So they might have some oil-free options. They might have some steamed rice. They might have some steamed vegetables or some beans laying around, some fruit, some veggies. You can always rely on very, very basic meals. So like veggie trays as the appetizer, or there's usually lettuce salads. Just something to nibble on during the party so you don't feel like a complete outcast, and it satisfies that need to just kind of nibble on something when you're in a setting like that where everybody else is eating. And don't be shy about asking for accommodations. Most people are so grateful that you spoke up instead of coming to the party and not eating at all. That's the worst case scenario. No host wants that. So just do them a favor and communicate your needs and your preferences. The fourth thing I want to mention is always, always, always bring your own healthy dish. Now, this doesn't have to be a whole meal. This can be something to share with everybody. Some easy crowd pleasers are things like potato salad, bean salad, fruit salad, lettuce salad, veggie trays with hummus. Just search the web. There are all sorts of delicious, healthy appetizers and side dishes that you can bring along to these parties. Just make sure it's something that you will enjoy as well. It should be a form of a treat for you, or at least it's something that you can nibble on so you don't feel so left out or deprived. And I say that stuff in quotations, not meaning to be offensive, but honestly, it's just a matter of time before those things no longer even occur for you. You will get to a place where you don't feel deprived and you don't feel left out. You feel liberated and excited and proud of yourself for living out your values and accomplishing your goals and being that shining example for all of your friends and family for how to take care of yourself. So bringing your own dish obviously also really helps to calm your nerves. Just knowing that you have something on hand to go to if you do happen to get hungry. It's very difficult to watch everybody else eating and not get a sense of hunger, or at least a sense of needing to nibble on something. So at least you'll know you have one safe option. And there's usually a few others at the party as well. And the last thing you can do is arrive super early so you can leave before the dining actually begins, or you can arrive late after the main meal. Usually there's always some sort of treats and appetizers laying around for people to nibble on at social gatherings. So just anticipate that, but it is helpful to just forego the sit-down dining portion of any kind of event you're going to attend. Then you just completely override the issue in the first place. I sincerely hope these tips help. I understand that this is a very challenging barrier for people who are trying to adjust to a whole food plant-based lifestyle. Don't forget to click the link below to download the free Food Pushers guide that I created for you guys. It is going to be a lifesaver. Again, you can find that link in the description box or in the comment section. I'll leave another one for you there. Make sure you don't miss out on the free guide. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you're trying to succeed on a whole food plant-based lifestyle. I put movies out every week, and hit that like button if you felt this was helpful. And if you're curious how I go about navigating these social situations and putting these tips into practice, I will leave a video right here for you to watch next.